But there was so much more bothering Chartrand. The Cardinals. The Cardinals were still locked in the Sistine Chapel. This was absolute insanity. The Camerlengo had wanted them evacuated 15 minutes ago. Rocher had overruled the decision and not informed the Camerlengo. Chartrand had expressed concern, and Rocher had almost taken off his head. Chain of command was never questioned in the Swiss Guard, and Rocher was now top dog. Half an hour, Rocher thought, discreetly checking his Swiss chronometer in the dim light of the candelabra lighting the hall. Please hurry. Chartrand wished he could hear what was happening on the other side of the doors. Still, he knew there was no one he would rather have handling this crisis than the Camerlengo. The man had been tested beyond reason tonight, and he had not flinched. He had confronted the problem head-on. Truthful, candid, shining like an example to all. Chartrand felt proud right now to be a Catholic. The Illuminati had made a mistake when they challenged Camerlengo Ventresca. At that moment, however, Chartrand's thoughts were jolted by an unexpected sound. A banging. It was coming from down the hall. The pounding was distant and muffled, but incessant. Rocher looked up. The captain turned to Chartrand and motioned down the hall. Chartrand understood. He turned on his flashlight and took off to investigate. The banging was more desperate now. Chartrand ran 30 yards down the corridor to an intersection. The noise seemed to be coming from around the corner, beyond the Sala Clementina. Chartrand felt perplexed. There was only one room back there, the Pope's private library. His Holiness's private library had been locked since the Pope's death. Nobody could possibly be in there. Chartrand hurried down the second corridor, turned another corner, and rushed to the library door. The wooden portico was diminutive, but it stood in the dark like a door sentinel. The banging was coming from somewhere inside. Chartrand hesitated. He had never been inside the private library. Few had. No one was allowed in without an escort by the Pope himself. Tentatively, Chartrand reached for the doorknob and turned. As he had imagined, the door was locked. He put his ear to the door. The banging was louder. Then he heard something else. Voices. Someone calling out. He could not make out the words, but he could hear the panic in their shouts. Was someone trapped in the library? Had the Swiss guard not properly evacuated the building? Chartrand hesitated, wondering if he should go back and consult Rocher. The hell with that. Chartrand had been trained to make decisions, and he would make one now. He pulled out his sidearm and fired a single shot into the door latch. The wood exploded, and the door swung open. Beyond the threshold, Chartrand saw nothing but blackness. He shone his flashlight. The room was rectangular oriental carpets, high oak shelves packed with books, a stitched leather couch, and a marble fireplace. Chartrand had heard stories of this place, 3,000 ancient volumes side by side with hundreds of current magazines and periodicals, anything His Holiness requested. The coffee table was covered with journals of science and politics. The banging was clearer now. Chartrand shone his light across the room toward the sound. On the far wall, beyond the sitting area, was a huge door made of iron. It looked impenetrable as a vault. It had 4 mammoth locks. The tiny etched letters dead center of the door took Chartrand's breath away. Il Passito. Chartrand stared. The Pope's secret escape route. Chartrand had certainly heard of Il Passito, and he had even heard rumors that it had once had an entrance here in the library, but the tunnel had not been used in ages. Who could be banging on the other side? Chartrand took his flashlight and rapped on the door,